Well, hello everyone. You're very welcome to the Thursday night edition of the Man United Agenda. While we were all happily going about our day's work, chaos ensued both on the stock market and amongst the media. So we'll be here to talk all about that takeover debacle today. Stay with us for this one. It's going to be a good one. Hello everyone, and you're...
Sorry, that was just the second time watching that. What a great intro! What a great intro! We got a great team here, and the technical guy. I never would have expected it. And Mr. B, take a bow. Wow.
But before we get into the serious business, there is something that we do need to mark. Gordon McQueen passed away, and that was announced today. So rest in peace, Gordon McQueen. Thoughts and prayers with the family, and of course with the wider United family who miss him. But gentlemen, how are ye both feeling? Because we're about to get knee deep in stocks, knee deep in glaziers, and knee deep in takeover talk.
Yeah, well, that's why you're here, Rebel, because between me and B, Mr. B, we really haven't got the foggiest about the details and everything else. So thank God you're here with your basketball vest on, because you're clutch. You're hitting shots with your knowledge on the financial affairs that are going on. But yeah, I must say, I can't speak for Mr. B, but I'm really excited. I know when you hear news, we've heard news over the weeks and months since November, but today, especially, I heard a few things that when it was explained to me, it seems like, yeah, what? Okay. Companies signing up in the UK and all that kind of thing. There's no smoke without fire. And yeah, I think I might smoke a fat one after about 3-4 years. True. That would be my forfeit. I'll be crippled for a month, but I might do it. Mr. B, sign me up.
Here, the thought of a Monday going down jamming in the name of the law. I just can't imagine him doing that. He's too sensible. But Mr. B, obviously your ears were perked by everything as well. But I want to touch on something that's not on the agenda today, and that is a quotation from a club about a player. And it just seems that the football world has taken leave of its senses. An unproven striker, regardless of how talented he is, seems to be commanding the same price point as Harry Bleeding Kane. Mr. Hudgeland at 86 million.
It's not even like they can commentate like me.
I know. It's the silly season started, isn't it? We know he's worth 40 million. Atalanta know he's worth 40 million. Obviously, they're doing what the these people on the stock exchange are doing and edging their bets a bit. But no, look, if the deal's going to be done, it's going to be done for a reasonable price. I think they're just talking shit, to be fair.
Absolutely.
I mean, look, the guy's name is Highland, or as Bruce would say, higher than a 4, higher than a 5, higher than 40 million for sure. That's what they're pricing him at. I think they're trying to mug us up. Clearly, they know we might be getting new ownership very soon. So why not try it? Why not just try that thing? We spent 35 million on Amad Diallo, and we thought that was a lot of money, but he had hardly played any games. This guy, I think 40 million is fair enough for what he's done so far, which is not much. One season in Serie A, and clearly double that price. It gets to that sort of bargaining thing now we're going to get to, and I just hope this doesn't drag out. If the guy wants to come, this is what we have player power for. If a guy really wants to come, they will make it known, do little things to make it known that they want to leave, and then the fans will be a turn on them. The club will have to let them go. And we've seen this in the past so many times too. So, Highland, if you're out there listening, watching the Man United agenda tonight, do your thing. Go to the board, say you want out, officially say you want a transfer request to go to Man United because you know it's the best move. You might not get this opportunity again. You might get injured for who, you know. You might get injured long-term injury, or you might. Who knows what could happen to you? Just come over to Man United while it's getting hot because we want you right now.
Very good, gentlemen. But let's get down to business. 18 in the chat. They're all here to talk about the takeover chaos. And a little spoiler for you at the end. We will be taking a wee peek at those Premier League fixtures because they were announced today as well. But gentlemen, at around 3 o'clock our time, maybe slightly before, chaos ensued in the New York stock market. The price of the Man United share kept rising and rising and rising and reached somewhere around the region of $27 a share by the end of the peak. And I actually had to look at things. And if you actually bought in on shares at the start of June and you had €1,000, by the end of today, if you cashed out, you would have had €1,500. You would have got 50% return on investment. Such has been the chaos in the stock market. So that is why I always treat these fluctuations with a bit of a health warning, because the big suits on Wall Street, they are speculators. They see a product that has peaks and troughs, and they are looking to get in at the trough and sell at the peak. So that is causing large volumes of transactions. So may not all be associated with the news of a Glacier sale. Now, of course, that does help because it keeps the eyeballs on the market, but all it helps is those Wall Street suits who are looking to make a quick buck. But then another story came out. Reuters, a very respectable financial publication, claimed that it was over, that Sheikh Jassim had entered a period of exclusivity, that the show was all but done. The Glazers were getting yeeted the heck out of the club, and we could forget them like they were a bad smell. This thing got vehemently chopped down, eradicated, and nuked by probably the high-falutin powers within the Glazers, within the Rain Group, and of course within Manchester United. And then the story changed to they were negotiating to enter a period of exclusivity. So the story kept moving and shaking. And we had journalists in England who I once thought were quite credible, that had once had a decent reputation for being close to the mark, because they wanted to pursue a particular narrative, are saying, no, nothing has changed. There's no indications. There's no this, there's no that. And they're deciding that Manchester United is not going to be in Qatari hands. But gentlemen, I was envisioning while this was all taking place, the Glazers, like Mr. Burns, going, excellent, in their little dark, dank faces.
Very good, Rebel. Very good.
Because they love the pantomime, don't they?
Yeah, they certainly do. They certainly do. That was a great impression of Mr. Burns. What's Mr. Burns' assistant's name? What's his name? Smithers?
Smithers.
Yeah.
If you could do Smithers, that would be funny because he's one of my favourite characters. Yeah, but Mr. Burns, I mean, he portrays one of these big, what do you call it? The big family. Could be the Glazers. I mean, they're all the same, aren't they? They're all nasty FUCKs, in my opinion. And every time I look at the Glazers, like actually look at them and think, what's going on with you guys? They look strange. They don't look normal like us guys. Look at us guys. I mean, look we're on camera. We look fine. We look like just normal lads. But these guys don't look normal. I mean, like she was talking about the ponytail and the bald head the other day. They wasn't talking about me. They're talking about the Glazers. But yeah. I just want to say the price it's been an interesting day, hasn't it, Rebel? I mean, you broke it down brilliantly. And for all the Man United fans in here, I don't care what you want to come here to hear. It's important news. And I know we said it before. It's not like I told you so or we're crying wolf. But I sense today, do you smell something? Yes, we do smell something cooking. It's the takeover. The takeover has come. And I do see, well, it seems like it's coming right on time because the transfer window's just opened last couple of days. We're getting frustrated, and this is just to turn us on and say, yeah, look what's happening now. This man's going to come in and do the business. And finally, to get rid of the Glazers, And this is everything we should be rejoicing right now. It's everything we've always wanted. So I don't want to hear no complaints from people saying, "Oh, but this, oh, but that." We wanted this. We all said this for months on the show. We said this in the comments as well. Let's not complain. Let's just follow this through and hope that all these indicators that we've seen today, with the stock price going up and with the being registered in the UK as a company and whatever, that's a clear sign to me that things are going down. So get on board, guys. This train is going towards a Premier League title and the Champions League title again. We're coming back. I saw Pep today parade the trophy to his Saudi or whoever they are, sheiks, whatever, present it to them like it was the NBA trophy or something, you know, and to say thank you for investing all that money, thank you for paying off whatever they did and you got a European trophy. There you go. You have a little plating, you know. This reminds me of, I don't even remember the Clash of the Titans, where you had all the Greek gods playing sort of games at the top, you know. This is what it reminds me of, all these sort of big wigs ownership of clubs. They're playing, oh yes, look at my team on this side. Look at them. You can't compete with them. I am the god of thunder, and I'm gonna take over the Premier League. And then the Qataris come along and say, I am Hercules. I will be the strongest team. I will blast Manchester United and make them the greatest again. Once again, it's like it's an epic story, and I think we will be telling a great story in the coming years. If we do have a ownership like that, because of the money, because of the investment, we're going to be, you know, because we're a big club, but we haven't been acting like a big club. Now we're a big club, we're a big ownership and big money. Now we can act like a big club, and now we can start being like sixth formers in school, running things again, you know, and picking on all the little newbies coming in and all the second years. They say year 8, year 9 now. I don't know that. For me, it's second year, third year, and fourth year.
Just sorry to interrupt briefly.
You like me on Monday then? You don't understand it either.
I don't get it at all.
Great, good. I thought it was just me. Sorry, Rebel.
Sorry to interrupt, but just thinking of the Simpsons team, because I noticed a couple of comments after we did our Mr. Burns impression. The B Sharps was also the name of Homer Simpson's band in The Simpsons, if you remember correctly, because Jason B. Sharps is in the building. But Mr. B, I want to come ask something different regarding the takeover that happened today with you. We saw today that the 92 Foundation was officially registered as a company with Companies House. Now, Simon Stone done his best to come out and take a weed whacker to the significance of that. But are you buying the stench that the British media is now portraying? Because are they still looking for the British-owned White Knight to sell papers for them?
I think they are to a certain extent. I mean, we lost a few subscribers after we posted a couple of things. So there is a lot of discontent. As we said already, whoever had won the bidding process, there was always going to be an issue, whether it's greenwashing, whether it's sports washing. Look, I'm not going to act like I'm a politician and I know everything that's going on, because I don't. I'm more interested in what happens with Man United, and the easiest way to make us great again is for the Qataris to take us over. So I don't expect us to go out there and spend £500 million on a player, but it would be nice to know that if our manager wanted four players of £78 million, it wouldn't be an issue at the moment. This transfer window, we're probably going to do a show next week working out how we're going to raise 120 mil. You know what I mean? That's the situation that we're at the moment. And to be fair, a club of our size, we shouldn't have to be worried about, I understand fair play. You know, we're not going to go out there and spend £10 billion. But at the same time, if we need 5 players, why should we have to wait? No, we've got the Qatari money, or we will have the Qatari money, hopefully. Go out there and spend the money. Go out there and buy your 4 players a season. You know what I mean? That's what we want. When all these other teams are doing, there seems to be a lot of fear. You know what? That's the word I'm going to use. Fear amongst rival fans at the moment. People are shitting. Oh, it can't be done. We've already been big. Yeah, so it's all right for Man City to cheat their way to it. You know, and Newcastle. Well, they have. Let's not get it twisted, Amanda. You're laughing, but they have 115 charges. It's not 6 or 7. 115. Yeah, so they're now going to be playing their lawyers more money than God can make. Yeah, to get them off or to stretch it out. By the time the case is done, half the Premier League board's going to be dead. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's how it's going at the moment. So it's all, you know, there's a lot of jealousy. And to be fair, I'm loving it. I'm loving every single minute of it.
Interestingly, before we get into the comments, because I want to ask the comments this question too, we'll get your views after the first batch, but I've noticed a lot of hypocrisy among certain fan bases that are owned by oil-rich owners. And they're talking about it being the worst thing since sliced bread, that 6 billion is a waste of money, that it could be used to solve world hunger, that we should be shamed. And these are coming from fans of that blue club, coming from certain fans in Newcastle colours. And I just want to know what your thoughts on these people are.
Where have you been? Sorry, Silver Fox, Silver One. Long time no see, Sooty. How you been, man? Sorry.
He's been on the bottle, and as you know why he's an Arsenal fan. Bottle job club. Yeah. I can throw it away. Big talking all the big talk, and now when it really mattered, they lost their bowl. Anyway, HG Gamer said I'd rather listen to a financial source than a transfer source today, so that's why you're here. UK Strange, how you doing? People putting out their own stories, so a bit dubious. Rebels say, Bath Time say Rebel versus the media, an unending saga. That's right. He represents us, Man United and the media. Kerwin Nixon, how you doing? Qatar is in too deep to lose now, so he reckons it's all go. Bart is saying here, Reuters are quite close to the Raiders group. Listen to them. That's a good source. Glazers are more like Homer, says H. Dope. MK, how you doing? Said, when we see Jassim on the pitch at Old Trafford in a United shirt, that's only then will we know it's done. Bart Time responded saying, if you see Jassim, if you think he's serious, you want to see him do 20 keepy uppies and around the world at Stratford End. Like a player. Who was it that signed for Real Madrid and couldn't do the keepy uppies? Who was it? It's a player. I can't remember.
He was terrible for Barcelona, isn't it? No, he did one for Barcelona and he was absolutely terrible. Who was it?
Man. Who are you saying?
Yeah, he was one of the players for Barcelona.
Oh, it's Barcelona, yeah.
Yeah, he was so shocking.
Oh God! Incest springs to mind. Says UK Strange. You know,
I think it was Braithwaite actually.
Huh?
I think it was Braithwaite.
Oh, was it Braithwaite?
Was he that bad?
I think it was, yeah. So, I don't know. I thought it was definitely Real Madrid or Barcelona. One of them started. They always do the big showdown when they do the kick-ups, but really messed up. Whoever it was, I felt shame. Do you think the other four Glazers have pushed for the sale of Qatar? That's from Matthew Bassett. How you doing, Matthew? Bart saying Premier League are coming up with a new rule presenting leverage buyout or their clubs after what happened with the Burnley. You might know about that. Jeff, how you doing? So keep watching the stock market. When that price peaks about $30, it's almost guaranteed indicator that Qatar or the Rats are about to be announced. So the finance rag I read, that's from Jeff. He's also saying here, Glazers are torturing us since we all hate them. HD Gamer saying, what country are the city owners from? Oh, it's Abu Dhabi, isn't it? But that would be someone. I can't even think right now. Bart said here, Eric Ten Hag must be pulling out his hair. Watch his rival strengthen while the ownership saga moves on at Snell's pace. Big up to Zoe Media House. Big up to Jason. He says Spurs talking about Madison and Barnes combined, good deal possibly. And Rebel here for you from Bath Time said, yeah, Rebel, I checked the application for 9.2 PLC was 7 months ago. It was approved today. Again, 6 billion wouldn't state Casemiro, wouldn't state Casemiro and Shaw for a season. 6 billion.
What is? I'm sorry. Am I the only one who fight? Was Casemiro wasn't bad this season? The games that Casemiro didn't play, we were shit. So I don't get the Casemiro kind of.
I think it's regarding food.
Food.
Okay. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Okay. Sorry. Go.
Okay. Can I just shout something out? Just to go a bit sidetrack here, but if this deal goes through, does this change our whole view on what sort of transfers we'll be signing. Because at the moment we're looking at Highland, who's like a potential or something like that. Will that change drastically to Mbappe and all these sort of great big marquee players? Is that going to change overnight?
All right, can I before, obviously I'm not, there's a question I want to ask. Obviously our budget has been quoted at 150 mil, 120 million. Now, if we are taking over, does that budget increase? It's still that we have to spend for this transfer window 120 million. Is that right or wrong? Can someone in the chat let me know, please? Sorry, Monday.
My understanding of that is we have let's assume that the figures are correct, that it is 120 million. We don't know for sure because there's a mathematical formula for working it out. Even with Sheikh Jazim taking over, it's believed that we would only get an additional 50 million pounds added onto it. That'd be 170 million. And then obviously player sales could take us up to maybe 250, 300. But what you have to remember, that is 300 million this year. So if you buy a 50 million pound player and you have him over 5 years, the financial fair play impact of that is 10 million. 290 left. So it's not as clear cut as saying you can spend 300 billion this season. If you're clever in the way you structure and you have good long-term vision in making sure that you always leave yourself that maneuvering room down the line, then you can make that 150, 200, 300 stretch a bit and do a bit more work for you.
I gotcha. Okay, thank you.
So after all that, I was expecting like a 500 million budget transfer. Now he's just going spoil my mood, blow my cards.
You've got an extra 50 million.
Yeah, that's not much. That's cheap change, isn't it? But yeah, I think, by the way, going back, you talking about Casemiro, Mr. B, I think that was a massive signing when we look back at last season. And that's the sort of caliber of player that can come in and make a difference that we really need. And I think rather than saying, right, we're worried about, you know, how much we've got to spend or whatever, we certainly need to be looking at that transfer and say, over the last 10 years, that's probably one of the better transfers we've made for impact and for experience, for his world-class level. Everyone says he's world-class in his position, one of the top 5 in his position. Those are the sort of players, regardless of what we say about being a pudding or whatever, those sort of players that make a difference for Man United Football Club and sort of take us that step further and win us finals against Newcastle, get us in the top 4, have that dirtiness to be a winner, to make sure we sort of, even if it means him being sacrificed and having red cards, whatever, he gets about, he does that job. So I think it's right to talk about players like Highland or whatever. We don't know what his mentals are like, but I like players like Casemiro who came in, and we need to really consider getting top class players like that. Get a couple of good potentials, but also I want to see a couple of ready to go winners coming in as well, this transfer market.
Before we move on from the takeover, just an interesting quote that came through. And this is going back to what Bat was saying about listening to routers. Routers have not, nor have they ever claimed that the Qataris had got the exclusivity. What they had said is that they are close to getting the exclusivity. So essentially, Simon Stone and his ilk have denied something which was never claimed. And I let you take your own interpretation from that as you will. But gentlemen, there is one last piece around the takeover that we do need to have a discussion on. And that is that fears have been expressed that even though Manchester United could be well equipped to take on the market once the permanent owners of the club is established again, that we may have missed out on key targets by the time that occurs, and that we will be dipping into our second and third choices. That's not really ideal, given that the whole purpose of having a well-oiled machine, pardon the pun, would be that we could at least target one, if not more, of our first choice players.
Rebel, listen, we've been supporting Man United long enough to know that we never get our first choice. We just have to hope that the second and third choice is up to a level that we're going to be happy with. We know Kane was probably the first choice, but for whatever reason, Daniel Levy's been Daniel Levy-esque, and he said that he's not going anywhere. Fine, no problem. We now then going to move on to what we will classify as our second choice, Highland. Mine wouldn't be Highland, but Napoli have obviously priced Osimhen out of the market, unless come later on in the transfer window, his price drops a little bit because they realize that they probably need the money and they're not going to get the buyers that they need. So I think it's more about the second level players. Kim G, whatever his name is, Kim G, yeah, yeah, that's the one. Now he's been linked with Bayern Munich after 4 weeks, 5 weeks of us being the only ones interested. Now, if that doesn't come off, then obviously the second choice was the Monaco defender, Axel.
Yeah.
Now, I know who I would prefer, but again, is this where the hold up comes in? Because we're talking about, the man's going to have to, he's going to have to turn some money. He's going to have to flip some cash in this transfer window. He knows what he's got and he knows the position that he wants to buy. But if Kim goes because he was waiting, Mount will stay. I think Mount will be fine. Kim is the one where we've got the 2-week transfer window. If that deal goes by, my opinion is that, yeah, he's definitely been let down. 100% been let down.
Monday, before you dip into the comments, I do see a comment from somebody I haven't seen here before. He may have been in other shows. Vincent Muka.
Welcome.
If I butchered your name, but he's after telling us that Fabrizio tweeted, and I'm going to read you that tweet. Understand Bayern have presented their project to Kim this week and are close to agreement on personal terms. Kim is tempted by Bayern and talks are moving fast. United remain the hunt. The release clause is not available until July. So we still have time to influence the path.
Be honest, yeah, if you're a player and you're not from Europe like he is, and you go to Bayern Munich and they show you all these Champions Leagues, they show you that you've got to win a league every season, and they show you that it's a massive club, new stadium, no leaks or anything like that, no plumbing issues, and then you see the training facilities, and you see that you're guaranteed to win something there, and then you come to Manchester, and it's a project that's on the up, and we're on the cusp of something big, but we haven't been doing something big. The league might be stronger. What are you really going to think? I actually think Bayern Munich are a far more attractive proposition right now than Man United Football Club. Depends on the character of the guy. Now, maybe he supports Man U, maybe because he's from Korea with Korean players that we've had in the past, Park, for example. Maybe that could be a deciding factor for him. But I do think when I heard Bayern Munich coming in, I felt, oh my gosh, if you compare the two clubs right now and you're showing round and they're trying to impress you, you'll be far more impressed with what Bayern Munich have got and what it means to play for Bayern Munich right now, because they are a giant of club. We might think we're big and all that kind of thing. Bayern Munich have 6, 7 Champions Leagues, and they're just born winners. They run Germany. They are the leaders of the country. So I'm concerned about that. Not that I really want Kim or anything like that, but I just think if we are in competition with someone like Bayern Munich, we've got worries.
Right. Question before we go on. So Monday, the fact that Bayern, I know you don't rate Kim, but don't you think that the fact that Bayern are interested now, does that change your opinion of the standard of player that we're interested in?
I'll answer that. I just want to say big up Vincent, man. He said, thank you for giving me hope. I'm not giving you hope at all. I just destroyed that argument. I'm being a bit pessimistic, I believe. Yeah, but it does raise the stock of the player, doesn't it, Mr. B? Maybe clearly these scouts and Bayern Munich ain't no joke when it comes to scouting. They clearly see something that I haven't seen. I'm not qualified to really talk on. So yeah, I could be having my head turned here, and I could be apologising once again for maybe getting it wrong, put my foot in my mouth for saying something which didn't turn out to be true. Maybe he is that guy, that monster. If Bayern Munich clearly wanted to get him as well. They've already got, if you look at Bayern Munich centre backs, they got the guy who came from Red Bull, the French defender, who everyone calls a bit of a calamity at times. They got De Ligt as well. So this guy coming in, he's going to have to fight for his place. If he goes to Man United, He's got injury-prone Varane, where he's probably going to get 30
That's
goals
it.
30 games a season. And Lindelof, you know, Martinez ain't budging. So yeah, it's interesting that it's good competition. And if we do come out beating Bayern Munich to a player, I'd say, why? Big up Man United. We're on the up.
And now Monday, before bat time goes to watch the greatest fix since the insider training in the Wolf of Wall Street, the Love Island, which is completely and utterly scripted in my opinion, hit some comments to keep him happy and send it off to his bubble bath.
There's plenty of comments coming through. We're going back, but we should keep it relevant. Jason is saying here, if the deal goes through, then it would make it easier to get rid of the deadwood for cheaper and start the proper rebuild. So we could generate money. Just don't worry about how much we get.
No, man. You know what? I'm not being funny. I'm sick of people taking our club. You know, our most expensive sailors, what? Dan James. Come on, man. We got to make some money out here. No. Let's not let people take the piss. Let's not take people take the top dollar for our players, apart from Maguire, who we can just give away.
Thank God you should be in the accounts at Man United. I heard the other day there's a woman who, I was listening to another show, there's a woman who's, I can't remember her role, secretary of Man United. She's been there for 35 years, apparently. And which is good and bad, you know.
She knows the things, man.
Yeah, knows the thing. But then he thinks, so why is it there's not a high turnover? Sometimes we have a high turnover of thing. That means you're making changes. You want to improve all the time. But to leave someone there 35 years, I'm not sure. Apparently, we get an extra 50 million from Qatar if the deal's done in time. That's HD game. I think it's just copying what Rebel said. Rebel said the same thing again here. He's saying the 50 million is something to do with the debt being cleared. Apparently, Bath Time saying here we can only spend 90% of our profit or something like that. If that works, yeah. You have to do the maths now. Jason again. Casemiro was the difference between us qualifying for top four. Without him, we would have been in the Europa League. I totally agree with you, bro. Emma saying here there's something with the debt coming, debt counting into newer FP rules, and when the Glazers are gone, people don't need to boycott the club anymore. Maguire to Leeds is a big shout from HD Gamer. Once again, big up to Vincent. Make sure you like and subscribe, my brother. And thanks for giving me hope. We didn't, obviously. Big up to Kerwin Nixon. He said, welcome to oil traffic. That's a good one. Very funny. I like that one. And yeah, everyone's cussing Bath Time because he's going off to watch Love Island. Big up to, by the way, to Colin. Colin can't be with us at the moment. He's got some technical difficulties. So wish him well, guys.
It must be really technical because he's saying afternoon. Wow.
I will tell you one thing. I saw him try to do a speed test, and he sent me the picture of it. Dial-up wasn't as slow as the internet that he's got at the moment. He's way back in the dark ages. So all the best with your internet issues, and we hope to have you back shortly, Colum. And MK, how are we doing? But gentlemen, two bits of small breaking news that have been coming out in the last few minutes. Firstly, Rabiot, a player that's out of contract this summer. Apparently, Juventus have made a last-ditch attempt to keep him now.
No chance.
That is topic number one. And topic number two, the Gooners have pulled out of the race for Moses Caicedo, according to some reports. It's now a clear runaway to Caicedo.
For who, though? Let's be honest. Come on. Rebel. It's a clear run for who? Chelsea? Because maybe this is something for another show, but we can't do the Caicedo deal. You've seen our budget. We can't do it. He's gonna have to flip some players quick. No, I can't do it. I can't do it.
Very good.
That's it.
I don't know. Look, we should have been interested in Caicedo when he first came to the UK. That's when we were sort of linked with him, and that's a bit disappointing, isn't it? Big up to Solo in the house. He's saying 20 watching right now. Like and subscribe. Make sure you do that. And JR as well saying Rabiot, great player for free. Juventus are skint, but they're trying to hold on now, aren't they? So first of all, Salcedo. Arsenal are interested in Rice, but I heard today Man City are sniffing around. So sorry, Arsenal fans. If they had a choice, like I was saying about Bayern and Man United, I have to be honest. I think Rice should go to City instead of Arsenal. Who wouldn't want to go to City now? He's guaranteed to win things. We play under one of the best managers right now, and he's got Jack Grealish there and other English players coming up, and they are bringing that English element into it right now with some of the youth players coming through. So Rice also could be interested in coming to Man United. The stalling is probably, a lot of these players are stalling, probably waiting for us to get that deal. Who knows? Who knows? Because I heard a rumour, obviously it might not be true, but that Mount and Rice are good friends, and maybe Mount and Rice will be coming to Man United once the deal gets over the line. So that's one. Salcedo, I'm not sure what's going to happen with him. I think Brighton would be a bit naive to think they can get rid of two of their main henchmen in midfield with McAllister and Salcedo and be able to sort of do what they did last year. That's like I said, the midfield is the hub of the team. I would expect Salcedo to stay now that they sold McAllister. They will be trying to keep him stay one more season. He's young enough. It makes no sense for him to go just now. You are taking a kind of risk on a young player again, even though he's played well this season. As for Rabiot, that's a player who's going for free. Something we should maybe consider deeply because
I'm taking him. I'm taking him.
Yeah, as I said earlier, take two experienced players. We talked about Casemiro and that. Take two experienced players and get two potentials in. But experience is key. Our JR Ewan is saying here, Rabiot, great player for free. Juventus skin. That's an opportunity that we can't really sort of turn our nose up on just because of his mum or whatever people say about him. It's funny when you say about why would you sign someone. Say, his mum is a pain in the ass. So what?
Gentlemen, you speak of Juventus being skinned, but I also like to point out Southampton have a player that is Premiership quality. They're renegated. He's available. Leicester have two midfielders that will not play in the Championship next season. They're available. Barcelona have players available because they need to move people off their wage book. There's a lot of clubs in a lot of financial pressure. So it might not be the case of just settling for the guy that's on free because ultimately there may be a better fit, even though it might be a small bit extra money in the interim, it could be more of a long-term benefit. So I wouldn't say that the free transfer would always be the best transfer.
You know what? See, it's funny because, obviously we want United deals done early. I do, my personally. But you see, come the end of the season, that's when you get the bargains and the sales. You know what would burn me the most if an Osimhen became available for, 80 million the last 2 weeks of the transfer window, and we being excited and thinking, we've done our deals, and he would have been a top choice, or whoever our other central midfielder, Casado maybe. His price is 80 million now, but 2 weeks before the window closes, all of a sudden he goes for 60 million. So I really think it's maybe the luck of the draw. I mean, on Monday, I was going to say to you about the Casemiro deal.
Yeah.
Did he fall into our lap? Because he wasn't somebody that the club were looking at. Were we lucky in regards to what we picked up?
Well, he said the right things, didn't he, when he came to the club? And I can't question him like a Robinho coming to Manchester not knowing anything about it. He came to the right club. He said the right things. He's been professional from all the way through. I don't think we could ever consider him as like a second best to Frankie de Jong or something like that. I think there's a list. You need to have backup, don't you? So you pick Frankie de Jong. We've gone after him. And while we're realizing, this doesn't seem so good, we would have probably started making some noise with Casemiro and other players that the manager fancied. And I think the communications would have gone on with Casemiro under the radar because everything in the news was Frankie de Jong every day. And so that's why I think when you had, like I said yesterday about the deal with Timber, we said, right, focus on Timber, get the media to focus on Timber. In the meantime, we just chat to Martinez, say, come, bro, and get that done quickly. Because, as soon as we went in, Arsenal were like, Martinez, you fancy coming to us? You know what I mean? So I think sometimes you have to put your focus on something as a distraction, like we did with Frankie de Jong. And when we realised it was dragging on, that maybe halfway through, we started on Casemiro, and that went under the radar. Imagine if Man City was like, hold on, we're coming in for Casemiro too. Or another big club when they realised he was available. So I think it's about, there's a lot of sort of dark arts or sort of sly manoeuvres that go on in transfer deals. They put something out in the media, but behind the scenes, behind the curtains, something else is going on. And hopefully that's the case with Rice, and hopefully that's the case with other players that we really want. Because I'll be honest, a lot of the fan base, all these players that we're coming up with who are sort of half unknown, I'm not sure about them. There's always a question mark.
Do you know, Monday, we're going to move on to the final topic of the night. But before we do, I did want to say that for the first time ever, when we signed Casemiro, I was surprised because nobody was uttering bare bollocks about him. Nobody knew what was going on. And all of a sudden, he was turning up at the door of Old Trafford, and we were like, what? How do we pull that off? I want that this year. I want teams to be thinking, what are United doing? Who are they chasing? And not having a bare bollocks of a notion of what we're up to. That is how we do business. That is how you get ahead. But gentlemen, before we hit the final batch of comments, let's just have a quick old nose at the fixture list. It came out earlier today. We're opening on Monday Night Football with Wolves at home. We have the Spuds and Forest to complete the month. Is that a month that has you licking your chops already?
Yeah. First thing, when I saw the fixture list, straight away I look for Arsenal, I look for Liverpool, I look for Man City. Those are the big games. And these games come later. So I think we've got an opportunity to have a great flying start. I can see us picking up 9 points in the first 3 games. Yes, away at Spurs did, still restarting themselves. They're not really on the up just yet. And we can punish Kane for refusing us maybe. Then we're away at Arsenal. That's a massive game. I think we can beat them. I really do. Because they've got Champions League contention now. And it's not like they're just playing in domestic competitions anymore. I think we can beat them. Brighton are going to be devoured with all their team being munched up. Burnley, easy win. And Crystal Palace, easy win. We're coming in October. Win.
Monday, can I pick up on something?
Vinny, I wonder he's going to one day say, win.
I can see us being flying up the top of the table. Sorry, Rebel. But I just want to say, I want to see us being up there just by looking at the fixtures. The fixtures in December look tasty. You got Chelsea, Newcastle, Liverpool. But apart from that, it's spread out. It's not like, remember last October, we had like 3 games against top teams in a row. It was like, oh my God. And that's how Ollie got sacked. So I think we've got a clear run there where we can get a good run of games going, good number of wins. And that's really going to benefit us. It's a great fixture list for Man United. Sorry, Rebel.
No, on Monday, I'm going to have to kind of pick you up on actually 2 things now. First of all, Burnley. They have a very shrewd operator in Vincent Kompany. I don't think that we should be dismissing them out of hand as being an easy 3 points. And number 2, you have to bear in mind that peppered in amongst this are going to be Champions League group stages against God knows who, League Cup fixtures against God knows who, and then obviously the start of the FA Cup towards the tail end. So we could still have big fixtures running back to back to back. So do not put the kibosh on it before we've even wetted our wick in the season.
Mr. B's laughing at you, aren't you, Mr. B, when you said about Burnley? Go on, Mr. B, let him have it.
Listen, Monday, I know you were very confident about those points. To be fair, I will take the draw against Arsenal and the win against everybody else. So, yeah, that first month, I'm expecting 9. And for the rest of the other one, I will gladly take 9. I'll gladly take 10 for the other 4. So if we get that and we sit here now looking at our points and that's what we've got, it's going to be a great start to the season. Anything less, then we're going to be on here moping around with our face in this. I know, blah, blah, blah. We didn't start how we wanted to be. Our transfer window was this, our transfer window was that. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Can I just say to a Rebel quickly, Rebel, you tried to sort of big up Burnley and give the spiel about how Burnley are coming up, how they're going to be dangerous side to beat, even though we knocked them out of the competition, the domestic League Cup. But can you do the same with Luton, please? Because you seem to have this thing about championship sides. How are you going to pick them up? We're playing them on the 11th of November. That's a significant day, the 11th of November. Isn't that the day when things get burnt down?
I would say, bless Luton for getting up there. Nice homely stadium. Feels like you're playing in your mother's kitchen. The way that the entrance to the ground is shaped up. You could probably watch a game from somebody's backyard. The way that it overlooks the pitch. I'd be interested to see how they get on this year because I do think there's an opportunity for some of those promoted sides to maintain their status. There was a few sides last season that rode their luck a little bit that probably could have went down. And unless they overhaul their outlook, could eventually hit that drop. But I do want to draw your attention to one more fixture to close out our side of the discussion before we hit the comments one last time. How significant could that home game against Arsenal, second last day of the game of the season, be?
Good spot. I didn't know
You know what? It would be beautiful to have something on it. It really would be beautiful to have something on it. But let's just get through let's just get through the transfer window. Let's get through the takeover and let the season start. Rebel, you've already wished your life away to the whole way to the end of the season. Bro. There's so much toils, there's so much joy. There's going to be a lot of cussing on the channel before that game. So let's just take it, just enjoy the ride. But yeah, that's a beautiful game to have second end of the season, though, to be fair.
Yeah,
I will say, I do hope I don't have to be cussing those damn Glaziers anymore, because I want to yeet them out of the Old Trafford campus so badly. It's not even funny. But on Monday, while we prepare to wrap up, hit those comments one last time for me.
So Jeff saying Casemiro decided late that he wanted to leave. Kerwin saying because Koreans love United. Talking about Kim, obviously. Boxer saying here, Boxer covered some knowledge earlier. He made a good comment about midfielders we couldn't miss out on. He's saying the Kim deal is very embarrassing for us. We've been putting in the groundwork on the deal since October. He has a release clause, willing to leave Napoli. How the hell are we going to F this up? That's a good point, don't you think? Colin saying he's demanding 9 points out of the first 3 games, including away at Spurs. Spurs and Arsenal away early on. Gritted teeth. Doesn't like look at that. Said Montreal FC. Boxer saying December is loaded, most definitely. Vincent saying here would be nice to go to Spurs with Harry Kane on our side. JR saying nearly every season, including this one, we go win. We end up praying for a win against someone in the bottom 3 just to stay in contention of top 4. Great comment of the day. I love that. They will laugh. Vincent saying here, how to say that on a Monday, the first game, not for us, not Man City, not Liverpool, not Arsenal, but Luton Town will be on 11th of November, which will you can see being moved for Sky. Just by the way, the Arsenal game is a Saturday 3:00 kickoff, which I doubt people will be able to watch unless you go to the game.
No, they'll change it. They'll move it. There's no, it's down there. Yeah, they'll deal with that.
Big up to Rajat. How you doing, man? Love you. See you back on the show. Everyone give him a big high five in the comments, please. We're winning that, no doubt, says Emma K. And Burnley's new pretty tippy-tappy style is going to get destroyed in the Premier League. Company getting relegated, hopefully, staying there. That's it. Sorry. One more. Do you mind, please? Mr. B? Read this. I'll read this for you. Vincent saying, Mr. B smoking, peace, love, and harmony. It's 2023. Victories, man.
Well, I will say now, it would be nice to win an opening game of the season, because obviously last season we were obviously looking at a season of transition. We probably got a result more than we hoped for when we think about what we were prepared to settle for at the start of the season, because we all thought that Ten Hag had a bare job on his hands. He still does have a bare job in his hands, but obviously we would like to be a little bit closer to the top end next season. Maybe even in the conversation come April fixtures. But for tonight, I want to thank Mr. B. I want to thank OMONDI and the 20 wonderful people in the chat who made this conversation so entertaining for both us and for each other. And remember, this is not just our channel. It is your channel. So welcome home to the Man United agenda. Good night, everyone. We will see you all again tomorrow.